Everybody's time, and so I think pardon me, that we will go ahead and get started. I have a script here, a run of show, so I don't forget to convey all the information I'm supposed to be telling you. But I want to begin by welcoming everybody and thanking you for coming to this training session. I hope you will find it informative and enjoyable. So I'm going to ask the members of the nominating committee, the state nominating committee, to introduce themselves. I'm Sue Smith. I'm chair of the committee, and I'm from the Washtenaw County League. So Carla?
I'm Carla Barrows-Wiggins. I'm on the nominating committee. I'm secretary of the state board, and I'm on a member of the Oakland Area League.
Thank you, Shirley.
Hey, I'm Shirley Madden. I'm on the nominating committee, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters for Manistee County.
And on the state board.
Yes, yes. I forgot. Okay.
One of our members was not able to be here tonight. You might know her, Regina Nelson. I know some of you know her. She's from Kalamazoo. And she had a work commitment this evening that she was not able to get out of.
Mhm.
And I guess Mary Lee Clark has not joined us, but when she does, we can introduce her. She's also on the committee and from the Jackson League. This meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on the State League website. I'm going to show a PowerPoint in a few minutes. It will also be on the website. Since there are a number of us, I'm going to ask you to put questions in the chat if you think of them as we go along, and then we'll take all the questions at the end, and Carla will help me with that. All right, Carla, I think ready to take a look at the PowerPoint.
We will.
Here comes one more person. Can you do all
I'm
that
getting
at
them
the same time? Yep. Okay.
Sure. And then we'll try this one, PowerPoint slideshow, share.
Oh, perfect.
I think we'll,
it's wonderful to have a person who understands
Yes.
IT on the committee.
So what are you seeing?
I'm seeing the first slide.
Okay, good.
Oh, perfect.
So
we're offering this training because we recognize the importance of nominating committees to the future of your league. As members of your league's nominating committee, you impact the future of your league by choosing its leadership. We're going to share some tips on how to be successful in recruiting qualified candidates for your local board and nominating committee. There will also be an opportunity for you to share your successful experiences. I want to talk a little about two characteristics unique to the league nominating committees: independence and accountability. The nominating committee is independent of the board. Therefore, the board does not approve the slate. Only the nominating committee has the authority to ask individuals to be nominees. However, the committee should keep the president informed of their progress without disclosing details about whom they're talking to. Nominating committee conversations with potential nominees and committee deliberations must be confidential. The nominating committee is accountable only to the delegates who elected them at the league's annual meeting. So what are the implications of these two unique characteristics: independence and accountability? Number one, it's important to inform the membership of the nominating committee's process and how members can suggest names to be considered to the committee. At the annual meeting, there must be a provision for delegates to nominate persons from the floor. This is the check on the nominating committee. Looking at resources, of course, you will need to have your local league bylaws, board and committee lists, as well as a membership list to use as resources. It's very important for the committee to get together to plan its work at least 1 year before the annual meeting. There are 2 reasons for this. Since the committee's work is spread out over a period of time, members need to know when they will need to meet to do specific tasks. People are busy and they make commitments to various organizations far in advance. If we wait until the last minute to ask people, they will probably already have made commitments and will have to say no, even though they might have liked to have said yes. Knowing the deadline for when the slates have to be completed is very important. The bylaws will tell you how many weeks before the annual meeting the slates have to be shared with the membership. Now, these lists that you see here are an overview of the activities that need to be included in this plan of work. And the following slides will explain them in detail. I know this is a lot of information. This is why we're going to put the PowerPoint on the website so that you don't have to write all this down. Planning the work. Check the bylaws to develop a list of positions that need to be filled. Also, the bylaws may have descriptions of responsibilities for various officers, length of term, and so forth. It's very important to have job descriptions. If your league doesn't already have them, this is a good opportunity for them to be written. Now, generating a pool of qualified potential nominees is key to the nominating committee's success. It will save you time in the long run. First, you need to develop a form for submitting names. We want to make it easy for people to submit names with the contact information and any other information that we need by developing an online form that members can easily submit to the committee. Then we want to get the word out. Write an article for the local newsletter telling people about the nominating committee, how important it is, and the need for people to submit names using the online form you have developed. Provide a link to the form in the article. Then post your article in the nominating form and its link on the website. Next, you will want to interview the current board members. You need a list of questions so all the committee members are collecting the same information. So you're going to, for example, find out, well, what skills and experience do they think are needed on the next board? Secondly, are they interested in continuing in their current position or are they interested in a different one? And thirdly, can they recommend some names for next year's officers and board? Next, you want to set the dates for the interviewing process and have a plan for reporting back. We all need deadlines so that we don't procrastinate. Divide up the names of the board members among the committee to interview. Now, some people will know others better than other people will, so you want to have a conversation about the best way to do that. Also, if you have board committees, it's a good idea to contact the board committee chairs for recommendations. They're a good source of names. So these are all ways to generate a pool of qualified, potential qualified candidates. All right, now that you've got the pool and you know the positions that you're trying to fill, you're ready to start creating a slate, and you need to keep in mind while you're doing that, the league's DEI policy, the principles of leadership development, and the need for succession of leadership. I want to say just a few things about the DEI policy, leadership development, and succession. First, the league's DEI policy. Using the DEI policy to do the work of the nominating committee can be challenging. And that's why the state DEI committee is going to offer training in how to apply the league's policy to the nominating committee process. And the training will be on Wednesday, February 21st at 7 o'clock. There will be, if there isn't already, a registration link on the members only page of the State League website. Regina Nelson, a member of the state nominating committee, as well as her local Kalamazoo League nominating committee, will be one of the panelists for the training. Panelists from other nonprofit organizations will all participate in talking about how to be successful in using the DEI policy in our nominating committee process. I plan to attend, and I hope you will too. Leadership development. As you think about whom to put on the slate, remember we want to provide opportunities for members to develop their leadership skills. Perhaps a member of the board is ready to assume more responsibility as an officer. At the national and state level, we try to bring some new people onto the board every 2 years. State and national league presidents typically serve only two-year terms for a total of 4 years. What about succession plans? Well, the committee might not have a succession plan per se. It's a good idea to think about who might be the league president in the future. Are there current officers who might step up? We need to think about bringing people along so that there are qualified people to ask to be president. Next, make a list of possible nominees for each office, and it's important to start with the president. I have found that taking a potential presidential nominee out for lunch sends a message that you think that this is an important office and that you take the job of filling it with the right person seriously. Once the president is secured, then you can work on other officers, followed by the board of directors. And you should prioritize the list of nominees for each office so that whoever is calling to fill, let's say, the secretary and the board, doesn't have to keep coming back to the committee if the person that everyone had agreed upon declines. Then you decide who is going to ask whom, and one way to do it might be to divide the job up by position so that if you're going to find a secretary and you have a prioritized list that the committee has agreed upon, then you can focus on those. If it turns out that the 4 people, when you even get to the through the list of 4, you might need another list of 4, in which case you would need to meet with a committee and get some agreement on who another prioritized list to work with. And you need to communicate, of course, the results of your contacts to other committee members. Communication is really important so that we don't end up stepping on each other's work or overlooking somebody. When you get ready to commit to create the nominating committee slate, you need to follow the same process, keeping in mind the league's DEI policy, leadership development, and need for succession. You need to have a chair for the committee, and so perhaps somebody who was a member of the committee one time might become the chair the next time. In any event, you develop a list of possible nominees, starting with a chair, prioritize the list, decide who's going to ask whom, and then, of course, keep in communication. Once you have completed the slates for the board and the nominating committee, you're ready to inform the board through the president. Remember, this is information only. The board does not approve the slate. Now, at this time, when I have done this before, I have asked the attendees to pair up and practice asking somebody to be a nominee. Since that's really not very workable in our Zoom meeting, we're going to do something different instead. And Paula, maybe, or Carla, maybe you could take us out of the PowerPoint for a moment. Is that possible?
I can probably do that.
Okay.
Let's see.
Thank you. That way we can see as many people as possible. So Shirley Madden very kindly volunteered, she's one of our committee members, to help me with this role play, and she is going to play the part of a local league member, and I'm going to play the part of a nominating committee member. So here we go. Ring, 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 ring. Hello. Oh, hi, Virginia. Yes, I remember the nominating committee is meeting on Friday. Our deadline for turning in the board slate is when? Next week? Not yet. I thought I would call that new member who joined last month. Yes, I'll let you know what she says. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, where did I put that membership list? Well, here it is. Let's see. What was her name? Shirley Madden? That's it. I'd better call her right now. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, Shirley. This is Sue Smith from the League of Women Voters Nominating Committee.
Yes?
I noticed that you joined the league last month. We're really glad to have you. You know, a good way to find out about the league and to meet other members is to become president.
Really? I don't know anything about the league. Isn't there anyone who's been a member longer who could be president?
Well, I've called everyone else on the membership list. No one wants to do it. How about you? Would you be willing?
I'm not sure I have the time to do. I'm already pretty busy.
Oh, it doesn't take much time. It's easy. You'll see.
Well, what does the president do exactly?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. Runs the board meetings, I suppose.
You know, Sue, I appreciate your thinking of me, but I think I'm ready to. I think I'm not ready to be president at this time.
Well,
Maybe next year.
oh, okay. Well, how about being on the nominating committee?
Well, what does that involve?
Oh, it's not hard. The committee won't even meet until next spring, a couple weeks before the annual meeting.
Oh,
I know. No one wants to be on the nominating committee. It's a pain, to tell you the truth, but someone has to do it.
I don't think so. Thanks anyway.
Okay, well, thanks, Shirley. Nice talking to you.
Okay, you too, Sue. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. You know, I hate this job. I don't know why I ever agreed to do it. Nobody ever says yes. Okay. I don't think we're gonna get Academy Award nomination.
No,
Oh, I think you are.
Okay, now I need to see where I am. Okay, now if we can go back to the slide 8. Please, Carla.
Got it?
Got it, thank you. So really, before contacting the potential nominees, it's a good idea to practice the ask. It's just so much easier if you've already tried. So when you do that, though, unlike when Shirley and I were having our conversation, of course, you want to be positive. You want to describe the work of the local league and its achievements, how important the league is and its mission of empowering voters and defending democracy. You want to be able to describe the job using a job description that talks about the responsibilities and meetings, and even offer to email the job description if that seems appropriate. It's important for the person to know the job's importance to the league and the opportunity to do meaningful work and make a difference. You work with interesting people. You have fun. It's an opportunity to work on issues you care about. And then you want to describe why this person is being asked, what special skills or experiences the person would bring to the job. So I'd like to take a few minutes before we go on to get some feedback in terms of what I should have done differently when I was talking to Shirley. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Okay, well now, Carla, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you to get out of this again because I can't see people.
No problem.
There you go.
good.
And of course, I can't see people on the next page. Anybody want to make a suggestion about, well, I should have done something different? Carrie, you're muted. You're muted, Carrie.
Should have waited to the last minute.
Ah, right.
Yep.
Deborah.
Telling someone that you've been through the list already.
You know, that actually
Really
happened to me one time. I mean, I didn't make this stuff up.
I'm sure, but that would really inspire someone, especially a new person.
Yeah, just what I want to do, what nobody else wants to do.
Yeah.
Okay, another one.
Oh,
Susan Rowe.
I think asking someone who's just joined the league to step in to be president of the organization is just a little bit misguided. You might
You
want
know-
to try another position.
This actually did happen in a local league, and that person only lasted 2 or 3 weeks before they realized that this was not something that they were ready to tackle.
Julianne
Yes.
from Grosse Point had a
What,
comment.
Carla?
Yes,
Julianne
I
from
am.
Grosse Point.
Okay,
How are you? That was great. Academy Award. Bravo. I loved it. I absolutely loved it because that's how things normally happen. But so what I would recommend, if possibly have an inspiring, positive story to hook, to get them to, wow, I'd like to do that. And whatever the past president did, have a story what she did, and have some really good, some really achievable goals. And the hook is that positive. The stories I think really help with me. I love hearing stories how people did with the challenge. So that's a suggestion.
that's a good suggestion. I like the hook idea. But we don't really mean a hook when you're going to grab
Oh, right.
something, right?
Right. No.
Not that kind of hook.
Whatever it
right, right.
takes.
Okay, who else?
Anne Green had one.
Oh, Anne Green, okay.
I was going to say it was particularly inspirational when you said nobody else wants the job.
Right.
It's the booby prize.
Julie? Okay,
Well-
Susan, good.
Oh, sorry. Well, I think when she asked what the job would entail and you said, well, I don't really know, I suppose you would be running the meetings. That's probably would help to know more about what it would take and how many hours they would have to put in a month and so on and so forth.
And maybe think about ways of describing it to make it sound like fun and not drudgery, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Susan Wood, I think you had your hand up, did you?
I did, and that was going to be my same comment, that when she asked about, well, what does the president of the league, what are their responsibilities? And when you said, well, I don't really know, it's like, okay, well, that's not going to work very well. So yeah, I liked what Julie was saying about having some stories, about, particular traits that a president needs to have, like the president of our Leelanau League is just a really good communicator, and she makes people feel special, and something on that order to help that person feel like, oh, well, I could do that, that's in my skill set.
Yes, and the other thing would be to have a job description, especially, when you start talking about, well, what does a treasurer do, for example? There are specific responsibilities that a treasurer has that you need to be able to explain to people. So getting a job description doesn't have to be fancy, but at least something that will tell you what the job responsibilities are. Another person? Are you looking both forward to the side?
I
Okay,
had
here's
a-
Shirley Zeller. Hi, Shirley.
And then
Hi, how are you
Kathy
today?
Petroni.
I was just thinking, besides the issues of the league and so on that the president has to do, they need some parliamentary procedure experience to keep the meetings run smoothly, so everyone gets a chance to have their say.
And maybe the board could have a parliamentarian who had that skill, and maybe that's all that they would do, would be to offer that.
Good idea.
Yeah. Anybody want to share a successful
Well,
experience they've
Kathy
had, or-
Petroni had a comment.
Yeah,
sorry?
Can I say something? Chances are, and I could be wrong, you guys can correct me, but isn't the president likely to come from someone that's already on the board? How often does it just come from somebody outside the board?
Well, I mean, certainly it would be, you would think it'd be desirable. That's why I was talking about leadership development, and also not a formal succession plan, but sort of an idea at least. Well, who are we putting on as vice presidents who might be a president in the future? So
Right. Right. So I'm just saying that most of the people that you are going to talk to, I think, about being president are pretty active in the league and have a pretty good idea of what the president's currently doing. But so I don't know. And many of them already have an idea of whether they want to do it or not. And if your individual league hasn't been very good about succession planning, and we're stuck as a nominating committee trying to find somebody, it is not easy. And much of what you said on that phone call, Susan, is just perfectly honest. I mean, at times that's the position I feel right now. We just need a warm body. I mean, it's really challenging. I mean,
we can do better than warm bodies.
I know, but I'm just saying it's not easy.
Well, okay, it takes a while to build up the nominating committee and the nominating committee process, and educating league members about the importance of being on the nominating committee, and helping people learn how to do it in a way that's going to be successful. And you don't want to get to the point where there's nobody else on the membership list except the new people who don't know enough to say no. So, yeah, Carrie.
I've been trying in the last year and a half to have each of the board members mentor somebody who's not a board member or not in a position of leadership. I've had a little success in a couple of positions, but not nearly as much as I had hoped. I've also taken members out to lunch who I've never met, but I've seen their name on the roster. And during the course of either coffee or a meal, I've been able to identify some skill sets that in the future, oh, this person's a CPA. This is good to know. Because I'm finding that people aren't, since the pandemic, people aren't coming to the meetings like they used to. And when I was approached to be president, I've got to say, Paula and Angela Ryan were the wind beneath my wings, because I wouldn't have said yes unless they were both there to help me. So
Right.
offering to help the new person goes a long way.
I agree. You know, when you talk about taking people out to lunch, I get into the habit of taking so many people out to lunch when I wanted them to do something that it was kind of a joke, and people would say, well, you don't want to go out to lunch with Sue because she's always going to ask you to do something. Anyway, I like your idea, Carrie. It's true. I mean, you just have to reach out and get to know people. And depending on the size of your league, that might be easier or difficult to do. But that's why it's so important to reach out in as many ways as you can to generate as big a qualified applicant pool as possible, so that the committee isn't sitting there looking at each other and wondering, well, who in the world can we ask to do this? Anybody else want to share some? Yes, Carol McPherson.
I think, just being on the board for a while, not a very long time, but, and then being a part of the membership and the, as it evolves, I think what we do is so important, and that is just across the board that we know that it's important, but the fun, the camaraderie, and the enthusiasm has to be emphasized. And I don't know, what the things are. I think personally, this year, our board right now in Midland, we're bringing treats to our programs.
Right.
Yay! Food always helps. And
Yes.
so things like that, some light-sided entertainment engagement.
You know, we don't pay people enough. It has to be fun. People aren't going to come if they don't enjoy it. And I have to say that, I have had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people that I would never have had the opportunity to meet if I hadn't been in the league, whether it's community people or other league members. And I think that is a real selling point. And in addition to the importance and the meaningfulness of our work, we're not just asking people to do anything. We're asking them to help, with a very important job. Any other comments anybody wants to make? Okay, I think we're ready to look at slide 9, Carla.
I'm working on it. Eek. I lost it. Let's try this one. So now for
8, and then I think there's one more after
Yep.
this. Okay, there are a couple important points here, I think. One is to make sure committee members know who's doing what, so we don't get our wires crossed, which could result in embarrassment. 2 people asking 2 different people to do the same job or something of that nature. So we want to be really careful about that. And then having meetings as necessary to share progress and handle issues. I mentioned earlier, you might run out of a prioritized list of nominees for a particular position. And then you have to go back to the committee and brainstorm some names to form another prioritized list. And meetings are really important when you're right in the middle of recruitment, because we hold each other accountable. And we often can procrastinate if it's a job we don't really like to do. That's just human nature. I can remember, you probably aren't old enough to remember ironing, but my sister and I used to iron our children's clothes, and the basket would fill up with ironing, and we would procrastinate because didn't want to do it. And we used to joke that, well, maybe the kids would grow out of that size anyway, and we never would have to iron that. But procrastination is a big obstacle to getting the job done, because it takes practice to get good at it. And you know that sometimes people are going to turn you down, but you can't get discouraged. And so it's really important to meet, to have a deadline, to encourage each other, and keep reminding each other the importance of the job that you're doing. Okay, are there any questions in the chat, Carla, or have we kind of done?
No, just one person who says they have to go to another meeting.
Oh, well, this is the this is the this is the life of Zoom. You go from one meeting to the next. Well, if there are no other questions, I want to thank you very much for coming and sharing your ideas about how we can all be successful as members of nominating committees. And I want to remind you again about the DEI training that's going to take place on February 21st. That's a Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Kathy, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I'm wondering, has anyone had more luck with co-presidents? I mean, we're really struggling right now. So we're trying to think of other ideas. And I don't know if other area leagues have done that, if they've had more success recruiting people to be a co-president, or anyone experienced with that?
Yes, a number of leagues do have co-presidents. We have co-presidents at the state league. And the advantage of having co-presidents is that they have staggered terms. So one co-president leaves and the next new co-president comes on, and you always have somebody there who's had experience. And Denise, do you want to speak to that? You're living it.
Yeah, it's worked on in our local league, which Kay Anderson could talk about if she wants to. And it works very well for Paula and me. Just as you said, it's such a relief to me coming in as the new co-president to have Paula with all her experience and knowledge and networks and everything. So that's just so helpful. So I think it can be a great recruiting tool.
That's if your other president agrees to stay on. Yeah, it would take some setting.
The terms are staggered, so that every 2 years you have one co-president going off and a new co-president coming on. It's more fun to do a job when you have somebody to talk to anyway, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Laugh about, complain, encourage. Yes, Shirley Zeller.
Yes, we have co-presidents in Jackson, and I'm not sure how we could handle all the work if we didn't have two of us doing it. That's just plain and simple.
Yeah, getting to be president these days is a lot more than just running the board meeting.
And this is going to be a very busy year, so I think it's really important that you have more than a half a dozen people working at it.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a very important year. It's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be a really important year for leagues, and to be a league member, and especially to be involved in league boards. So I think it's a real opportunity. And I like to think of asking people if they would like the opportunity. to me, it's an opportunity to be on the board of such an organization as the league. And we don't twist people's arms to do it. We look for people who welcome the opportunity and who provide the kind of support and help and leadership that we need in order to be a successful league. Nancy Duck.
I have a question. If you had co-presidents, what's the purpose of a vice president, or do you have a vice president?
Well, usually the vice presidents have separate responsibilities. I mean, there might be a vice president for a voter service or.
Well, there is on the state level. I don't know.
Program.
It is not in our local level.
Mhm.
I would think that for our local league, the vice president could almost serve as co-president because they have no specific job other than what is delegated to them.
Well, I think every league has to work out what works best for them. I mean, we can't have a cookie cutter solution certainly, because we have leagues that are big, leagues that are small, leagues that are big in geographic area, leagues that are very small in geographic areas. So we're all different in that, and that's great. But you have to, kind of take these concepts and see, well, how will this work in our league if we're trying to follow this general idea? And you don't have to have a co-president. It works for some, it doesn't work for everybody.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other parting thoughts?
I'm curious what Kay Anderson was going to say. Kay, what did you say?
I was just going to share, Kalamazoo has 2 co-presidents and 2 vice presidents, but they do have specific duties that, that keep them busy. So
it's however you want to divide up the work, what works.
We were also blessed in Kalamazoo to have Mary Kay Oline Berkey stay on as past president.
Right.
And so Kathy Petroni, you might be able to get one of your presidents to stay on as a past president to help elevate the person that you do get as president. If you're not able to get 2 co-presidents, it sounds like you would be getting 2 new co-presidents. Yeah. So that's really a challenge. But we've been really blessed in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And I'm new to the league too. I'm treasurer. I'm new to the league. I'm on this nominating committee. It's like,
well, good for you. What's the name of your league, Kathy?
Lansing area.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And Don has just had it, right? So it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, we're struggling. So this is helpful. I think.
This too shall pass. It comes out in the end somehow.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. So some of you have been in this position where you're like, oh my God, we're never going to find a solution and something happens.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think you will find a solution. Susan Wood?
Yeah, I'm going back to a previous point that people were talking about, and the whole idea about, because we've been talking about this in our league, that since the pandemic, our membership we have a lot of members, but we don't have a lot of people that are attending our meetings or our Zooms or our committees. And so we've been talking a lot about how to engage, new people. And I mean, I think this year there's enough of a challenge that we should be able to engage new people. But one activity that Nancy Duck actually organized, and I think we could probably do this more often. It was like a meet and greet.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a pretty good turnout, and we had good food. Mostly it was social, it was mostly people just talking, and I invited 2 people, and one of them actually joined the league.
Oh, good.
So that was nice. And I just met her on a hike, and we were talking about politics or something, and that's how I had brought it up to her. But I like that idea a lot. as a way to recruit and get people interested. I don't know. I think maybe we should do that, more often.
I think this reluctance of people to come to in-person meetings is a cultural phenomenon. I mean, I've heard lots of other organizations that have the same experience. And, something happened, people just got used to staying at home. And so you have to offer something special in order to get people to come. And food, I think, is something, or some kind of a social thing where people are going to come and have a good time. Is good to start getting people engaged and interested, and then you can talk about, hey, this is what we're going to do in the league. Would you be interested in, helping with this or helping with that? Anybody else? Carl, are you seeing anybody that I'm not seeing? Oh, go ahead, Mary Louise.
In Grand
Mary
Rapids.
Louise.
Yeah, Marie Louise from Grand Rapids. What we've done here is we started a book group, a quarterly book group in a local bookstore. And if people buy the book from the bookstore or any other book, 20% of the proceeds will go to the league. But there has been quite some interest. It's another way to gather. We just have a beverage and a little snack, but we talk about a book. It's another way to connect with people.
Right. It's providing a social opportunity for people to get together and have a good time. And I think there was a chat, something on the chat. Was that Carla?
Yes, there's a question about how long will the video of this presentation be available on the website?
Well, I don't know, Paula, there's no reason to take it down, is there?
It's usually only 90 days, but we can convert it to a YouTube and make it last forever.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And the other thing I was thinking was that the PowerPoint slides could be available. There were just an awful lot of information, and there's no way anybody could just get everything down, in my opinion. Susan?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the PowerPoint. That's what I want.
Okay. So I guess it's going to be there forever.
Okay. However.
Well, the recording.
I think
You're
we
talking about
have
the
to ask the
recording, aren't you,
webmaster.
Paula? There's no reason to take the PowerPoint down.
It would just go under member resources.
Yeah, we'll find a way to put it on there.
Okay, I'm sure Paula will let us know where it is.
Sue, I just want to tell you thank you for doing this. You have so much expertise in this area, and it was so informative to me, and I'm sure to everybody else. And I think you and Shirley really do deserve an Academy Award. You
We'll
couldn't
have to
hear
do this again soon.
You couldn't hear us all laughing because we were muted, but we were all leaning back in our chairs laughing. So, and that's part of the fun of being a league member, right?
It is fun, you're right? Shirley is an author, and so I was a little nervous. I thought when I write this script and send it to her, I said, wow, Shirley, is this okay? She said it was, so we went with it.
That was fine, Sue.
So there were a couple of comments about how great the presentation was, and
well,
no
thank you,
complaints
everybody, and
posted.
thank you for participating. It always makes it more interesting and more valuable to everybody here when we have people adding their comments. So thanks again. I hope I'll see you on the 21st at the DEI workshop. Good night.
Take care.
Good night.
Okay, good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You, Sue.
So Sue, I don't think you need anything else from me.
No, thank you so much, Carla. Oh my gosh. I really appreciate it.
And you'll send the PowerPoint presentation to Paula?
Sure, I can do that.
Would you like me to do that?
Go right ahead.
Okay. I'll
I'm
do
always happy to have help.
that. Okay.
And I
And
really appreciate.
the role playing between you and Shirley, that's actually a great idea to have the bad example there, because people are sitting there thinking, oh, I can't believe they did that. Oh, that's
These are based on real life experiences. I have experienced every single one of this.
it makes a great point. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks you, and talk to
Good
you
night.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye.